Jai Hare Krishna, Jai Gauranga Prabhu. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm very happy to see you. Very happy.
That's good. My good fortune.
Can you tell us about the Vaiṣṇava-sevā for the devotee in UK?
Oh yeah, yes. We had one of our longtime devotees, Sava Pavana Prabhu. He passed away a couple of weeks ago. Unfortunately, he
Yes, you're back. Jai Hare Krishna, Marianne. Jai Gauranga.
Hare Krishna.
Jai Hare Krishna. No, it still shows red. Your microphone is still closed. Yes,
Oh.
now it's open.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, Sava Pavana Prabhu. So he passed away a couple of weeks ago, and quite a few people came. His kids are quite accomplished cooks, so they all came in and cooked for Mahaprabhu, and then they and quite a few devotees, because we have an ISKCON temple quite near to the dam, so a lot of devotees from ISKCON came. There's about 150 people here.
Wow.
Yeah, which is quite nice. Yeah, about 100, 150. And yeah, it was a nice program.
Very nice, very nice. And devotees have affection for other devotees. That is so special, so special. So nice.
Definitely.
Vrindavaneshwari, welcome. And everyone had a time to speak. Good morning, obeisances, Maharaj.
Morning, good morning, good evening, obeisances.
Jainitai, Jainitai.
All right, we're happy to see all of our on-time devotees right here with us.
The first one, Jai Gauranga Prabhu, Maharaj.
Okay. Very good, Jai Gauranga Prabhu. I'm happy to hear that. And I just did catch a little bit that you had 150 people there in Govinda Dham in Australia for Sava Pavana Prabhu's Remembrance Festival.
Yes, Raj.
Well done.
It was a good program.
And maybe Gurudev would ask, what was cooked? What did Mahaprabhu eat? Not what you ate.
Well, so rice, tomato chutney. There was two subjis. I can't remember exactly what they were. The best halava I've ever had in my life. It was first class. Yeah.
Okay, anyway, very good. I'm sure there were other preparations too, being Govindadam, being Australia. And every temple has the best cooks in the world, don't they? But Govindadam has Devananda Prabhu and others who can cook very well.
And Maharaj, I don't know if you heard, but he mentioned that two of his sons were doing the cooking as well.
No, I didn't hear that, so I'm happy to hear. And do I know his sons? Not sure.
Kara, I think his name is, and their daughter Rasika.
I'm not sure I know them. But Sarvapavana Prabhu, then we know, and you see, everybody's passing through this world. And it's very evident day by day by day that we are just here temporarily. So we do have to make the most of it, and we've got a lot to make the most of. It's a wonderful time for us in the history of our billions of rebirths. So let us use our time properly now by first giving obeisances to the devotees. And gradually, one by one, some more devotees are entering. Dalnetai Prabhu just entered, so very welcome. And Gangalila Devidasi came, Priyananda Devidasi came, Dhanake Radha Sundari. Jayadev Prabhu is here from the beginning, I think, and Sevarupa Devidasi too, and Vrindavaneshri Diri. Welcome here. Oh, very late at night. Very late at night. And Leela Moy Prabhu, very late at night, but looking like it's early morning, looking very bright with you. And Prema Sindhu in South Africa, where we are, same time as us, more or less. And Marianne, welcome. May Krishna watch over you, and may Krishna watch over each of you, in fact. All right, and Jeevana Didi just came in with her iPad. All right.
And Priyanana is here too.
And Priyanana with her flower. Good morning, good evening, good morning. It's evening with you. All right, and on Facebook we have Madhava Prabhu. At the moment, at least, he sent us a Hare Krishna to all of the devotees. Jai Guru Maharaj. And all his Dandava Pranams and all his affection to you all. All right, beautiful. So our Dandava Pranam to each other and to you, Madhava Prabhu. And let us begin with Vandeham, which is obeisances to the devotees. Then obeisances to the Lord with, Vanchakalpatarubhyascha, first of all, with obeisances to the devotees, and then Vandeham. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha. Okay. I'll start that again. Sorry. I just had a shower. I sneezed. I didn't want to sneeze in your ear. Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaiṣṇavebhyo namo namaha. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitan Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitam Sacha Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvijay Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vas Adi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All right, dear devotees. So, first of all, we can say again, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Garadhara, Shri Vas Adi, Shri Gaura Bhakti Vrinda. And Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, so dear devotees, I am more ready than I was a few seconds ago. So, tell me, we're in the world of birth and death, and what do we do for the devotees after they die? We do Vaiṣṇava-sevā, we give glorification of those devotees. But what do we do for devotees when they're alive? We should also give honor for those devotees, give glorification, and have festivals with the devotees as far as possible. But to recognize the Vaishnavas while present and not just when they passed away. And it's the tradition. I mean, it's tradition. It's just nature everywhere that when somebody passes away, everybody will give some words of glorification of that person. We know from family and friends who passed away previously. Then naturally, the family, the friends, and family and friends of the family and friends who pass away, they come together and they give glorification of that person. They're not listing all sorts of bad things that they did in their life or like this. They come in the church or in the reception, and everybody has a few minutes just to say something about, their drinking partner from the pub, what a great guy he was. Or, even in the material world, they do like this. They don't start listing how he had such a bad betting habit or something, and he lost all his life savings. They don't do like this. They look at the other side of it and they see the good quality. So we should try to be like that for everybody who's alive, including hopefully not the drinking buddy at the bar, including the person who goes drinking at the bar and who does lose their life savings by betting. Still in this world, we should try to see the good parts of everyone, but especially with the devotees. So Sarvabhavana Prabhu, he passed away a couple of weeks ago. It seems maybe even longer, but he passed away fairly recently. And devotees we know devotees in the process of passing away. I mean, if you follow my gist, where they know they've only got a short while to live, but we're all in that situation. And things happen unexpectedly all the time. And we went for a walk with the devotees. We've got devotees visiting here. And we went with Munindra Mohan Prabhu and the devotees just along the banks of the river Ada, Fume Ada. For those of you who've been here, who's been here? Yes, Sevarupa Devinasi. You've been here and you know the river Ada. And we're walking along the river Ada, and a favorite place where we go, like a particular point on the river where we go because it's very suitable for bathing, and there's a very solid bench simply made from a tree, but it's made into a bench from a tree trunk, and a beautiful place. And in fact, my icon used to be, maybe a couple of years ago, used to be a picture of the river and the Alps or the pre-Alps behind, and that was taken from that very spot. But we went walking there just the day before yesterday, in fact, and there half of a tree had split down the middle, and a big tree, and half of that big tree had come crashing down onto that bench where people sit. So you can think that any moment, anything can happen. And you can just be sitting on the bench, peacefully watching the scenery, and then it just happens to be the time for a tree to split. So nowhere is safe in this world. And we also know, and we were made aware of that recently, that upstream from the Adda River, there's a lake. Upstream from the lake, there are more rivers. And they have, in the Alps, they have dams, reservoirs with high walls and reservoirs. And you can also think, and when you see it, you think, really, man can make such a strong wall to hold back all that water. And just we can think, if those dam walls break or something, then the water will come rushing down the valley. Then even you could be sitting peacefully by a river. Then, like the tsunami, people had no idea that it's coming. That tsunami that hit Thailand a few years ago. So anyway, there's danger at every step. It's not our home. We need to be on the path out. And so this is us, those who've gathered here today. We see that we are all on the path out. We're trying to make our journey out. And that journey out will be based on sadhu sangha, the holy name, and seva, some serving attitude for the Lord. Hare Krishna. So service, to use our energy towards the Lord, towards the embodiment of beauty, sweetness, and charm, Sri Krishna. All right, anyway, with the reminder again that not only non-devotees, but also devotees are entering and passing through this world, that it applies to us all to make sure that we're on the right path all the time, not to wait until later. All right, so anyway, I've started us off with some thoughts. Actually, it was Jai Gauranga Prabhu who started us off with some thoughts by mentioning about the festival that they had in Australia, the Shraddha. It's called Shraddha in Sanskrit. But what is called Shraddha is a festival for the departed soul, but it has formalities that go with it. Yes, Ashapurna, welcome. But it has formalities that go with the Shraddha ceremony. And Srila Gurudev did humbly, but honestly, point out that actually we're not able to do an actual Shraddha ceremony because we don't even know, for most of us, the names of our forefathers going back maybe 4 generations. Maybe we do, hopefully, 1 or 2, and some will do some research going back, but I believe it's 7 generations in the past that there are some mantras, some various things to do. And Gurudev said, we don't even know who are the names of our forefathers going back 7 generations. So how can we chant the mantras, the proper mantras? So what we are doing is remembrance of the Vaiṣṇava and seva to Krishna in the name of that Vaiṣṇava or the person who's passed away. And we are feeding that Vaiṣṇava. Mahaprasad has been offered to the deity. But Srila Gurudev said that actually the most important part of the whole ceremony is the satisfaction of the Vaishnavas, Vaiṣṇava-sevā, that the devotees will be happy in the name of the person who's passed away. Then that is the most effective part of the whole program. But we don't actually do a shraddha, even though kind of it comes into the language that, oh, we're doing a shraddha for somebody. Hare Krishna. And in Australia, we did have the oldest disciple of Gurudev that I knew of. And he was 94 years old, possibly 95 years old when he passed away. Yeah. And very bright. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think his name was Radharaman Prabhu, I believe his name. Very bright, aged man. And We visited him in Australia when he was in a nursing home being nicely taken care of, and all the nurses, they loved him. He was their favorite patient. And we met him in the nursing home, and then next year, the last time I was in Australia perhaps, then we called him up and asked, and said, would you like us to come by? And he said, no. Oh, okay. So I'll come there to the temple. I have one last wish in my life. I want to come back to where I received connection, where I received the holy name from Srila Gurudev. And he did, and he came to the temple, frail body, but beautiful personality. And he's been chanting his japa all his life. And in his room, in the old age person's home, the care home, in his room, he has a sweet little altar, and he makes the nurses also put that food they bring him on the altar like this, and very sweet, exemplary. And one of these devotees who we don't hear much about because, living a quiet life and a little aged, but we visit them, we see them, we meet them, and we see, such beautiful natures. And anyway, he did come to Govindadham and met us in Govindadham, and he said that this is like one of the best days of his life ever, that he's come back to where he received initiation, and he was remembering Gurudev here, Gurudev there. Anyway, we can all get life by seeing the life of the Vaishnavas. Hare Krishna. So they're all going through the door. The door is waiting for us, but it's a happy door. Gurudev, Srila Gurudev said, I have no fear to die. I know Guru Maharaj is waiting for me. Hare Krishna. May we all be confident like that, but we need to be realistically confident. If we're being a nonsense, well, maybe Guru Maharaj is waiting, but maybe not in the next lifetime. But if the yogis try for billions of lifetimes, as Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma in his prayers in Brahma Samhita says, if the yogis try for billions of lifetimes just to push out all material conception and understand that they're spiritual, they're conscious, they're not a body, then we can also try for billions of lifetimes to be a devotee of Krishna. But Mahaprabhu assures us that quickly we will come back home if we just take this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and honor the Vaishnavas, the Vaishnavas, the Shastras, the holy name. This process for us. Hare Krishna. Yes, and welcome to Vila Shakti Devirasi, Induleka Devirasi, and Suresh Krishna Prabhu. Suresh Krishna Prabhu without a microphone. Oh, Suresh Krishna with a microphone. Welcome to Suresh Krishna Prabhu, who's now got audio as well. All right. So we have with us Jivana Devirasi, and we do always want to hear something from Jivana, and Jivana is of the special generation, means so much association and so much grace from Guru Maharaj, from Gurudev, from Srila Prabhupada. Jivanadi, humbly asking, requesting you can share something for us. Back to basics.
My dandavat to everybody. You all are giving us so much life and happiness and encouragement. Don't be discouraged by seeing me, because after so long, with so much association, still such a nonsense rascal. But anyway, that's another story. We don't have to worry about that for now. And
That is proof that she comes from A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Association, because she mentioned that a specific word of his.
nonsense rascal. Yeah, he liked to call us that. But yeah, so anyway, you guys, this is the life. This is our beautiful life. And wanted to talk. Well, I guess what I was going to do today is just read a little something. This is actually a card. Well, first of all, I was going to tell you it was Bimala's birthday. So we had a little birthday for Bimala, which is really nice. If any of you have met Bimala, she's just an amazing servitor. She does not know the word no. Anything she's out, she's just not only says, okay, she says, give it to me, please, please give me more. She's just amazing. She has so much enthusiasm and happiness for service. And if you see her, she's kind of a slight, small person, but she is a real dynamo. So anyway, it was her birthday yesterday, so they had a little party for her. And then I was looking on my refrigerator where I have some cards and different things, and I found this card from Sureshri that I hadn't read in a really long time. This is from Sureshri, who has, as she said, graduated, gone on. And but every time she would give anybody a card, she would put a really beautiful quote of some sort here. I'm not sure exactly where this one comes from, but I'm thinking maybe Maharaj or Kanishri or somebody might recognize which book it's from. So it's called The Absolute Center, and it's about how Krishna is the center of everything. And it's very funny because sometimes when I'm at the ashram, I'll go into the temple room and see the deities there, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I'm always forgetting that you are the Supreme Personality. You're the owner. You're the proprietor of all of this. I'm here as like a little insignificant servant. And it's very nice to see the deities, even if it's a picture of the deities, or if you actually see the deities, because it helps trigger a little memory that Krishna is actually everything. And believe it or not, after so many years, I forget that all the time. So it's very good reminder all the time to hear that. I just actually can't hear the philosophy, can't hear from you all enough. It's just not possible this lifetime to get enough. So anyway, I was just going to read this little card from Sureshri. It's she got it from somewhere in the books, either Gurudev or Guru Maharaj. It's called The Absolute Center. And it says, if you want to inquire about the center. This is the call of the Upanishads. Don't waste your time trying to analyze the smallest part of creation, trying to be its master. This is not possible. Your inquiry should be properly guided. Krishna says, I am the center. And I say, come to know me. And through me, you will be able to know everything, because I know everything and I control everything. Your connection with me can give you that capacity. Approach everything through me. Then you will be able to know the proper position of all things. Otherwise, you will become acquainted with only a partial aspect of reality, and that will be external and incomplete. And you will pass millions of lives trying to know and understand reality to no end. Which that piece reminds me of what you were saying earlier, Maharaj, about how, yogis and millions and millions of lives we can pass. But somewhere we have to try and catch ourselves and try and remember what we're doing and remember who is the center. And it's a very beautiful center, that beautiful phrase that Guru Maharaj gave us, reality, the beautiful. That is actually our very beautiful life. So maybe it's not so easy and we're always distracted so much from the external energy, but whenever we can, we try to come back and remember the center and the importance of the center. So, not sure if you recognized where that's from, but I think it's probably one of Guru Maharaj's books. And I think you're on mute, Maharaj.
Yes, it sounds very familiar. It's so beautiful, but I positively did not look for it because I didn't want to engage in a race with Praneshwari because I knew I would
You
lose.
won, Maharaj, you won. I couldn't find it.
I know. I tried to. I'm not really sure where, but I'm sure it's one of Guru Maharaj. I'm thinking it's one of Guru Maharaj's books. But I like how Guru Maharaj or Gurudev would sometimes say how Krishna, he's so bold in Bhagavad Gita. He's just so bold. He just comes out and says, "Hey, you know, I'm the Supreme Lord. I control everything. It's like pearls on a thread. Everything belongs to me, and I control everything." And it's just such a beautiful, such a relief. One time when Yuda was talking to Govinda Maharaj, and Yuda was worried, very worried about something. I can't remember what it was, of course, but something. And Gurudev said, "Prabhu, Krishna is the supreme controller. You are not." And Yuda was like, "Oh, I can't believe my guru had to tell me that."
And who says it and where it comes from, that has its impact too. And Gurudev, even in joking, he always was giving some teaching, saying something which was relevant. I mean, in joking, transcendental humorist is how Srila Prabhupada also described Guru Maharaj, described Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj. It's Govinda Maharaj who said that to Yudamanyu
Yeah,
Prabhu, right?
yes, yeah. It was a phone call about something that was causing anxiety, and Gurudev just, Krishna is the supreme controller, and you are not.
And here, as you know, we listen and we watch Srila Gurudev, Srila Guru Maharaj, and Srila Prabhupada in our programs, not on a fixed basis, but to keep everybody alive, not alive. They don't want to miss anything. So sometimes in the evening and sometimes in the morning. And 2 days ago in the morning, we played not long, 9 minutes, I think it was, less than 10 minutes, one excerpt of Srila Guru Maharaj and a video, it was a video excerpt. And there, believe it or not, Guru Maharaj was also telling about how Krishna is the supreme controller. And we are tiny, and we need to use our might for him, and that he has an unlimited appetite to receive service because he is unlimited. But whatever happens, we must understand it is his will. And we just need to do our duty to contribute our energy in the way that we understand should be used for him, and not to make a separate stream. We need to go in the main current and not try to make a little stream and give it our own name. There is a Mahananda River, by the way, in Bengal. It floods quite regularly. That's how I know about it, because it comes up on the news. The Mahananda overflooded its banks, and so many people were drowned. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Anyway, we're not to make our own separate little stream. We need to be in the mainstream. And anyhow, beautiful things. We are being reminded that Krishna is in the center, but affectionate Krishna is in the center. This is something that we're getting from Srila Gurudev, from Srila Guru Maharaj, from Srila Prabhupada too. And as we principally now, I suppose, know Srila Gurudev and Srila Guru Maharaj, and because we've been with them and we've been hearing them so much, but when we are watching Srila Prabhupada's videos and hearing his talks, also we get the humor of Gurudev and the humor of Guru Maharaj, as well as their message. And very often, and sometimes definitely, we're seeing none of the devotees there seem to catch the humor side of what Srila Prabhupada is saying. And we can feel Srila Prabhupada, he really is alone in America, or alone in the world, in the Western world. He's alone and doesn't really have anyone to share his his transcendental humor with as well, and about the fools and the rascals, of which Jivana is not one, but which I was definitely one. And I knew that Srila Prabhupada, in that book, Search for Sri Krishna, which everyone knows is the first book I read and really did change my life and change the life of many people. And in that book, when we're coming from nowhere, then we understand Srila Prabhupada is talking about me, and others, maybe. There might be some others who had the similar mentality to me. But, he's talking about me. We know that in his way, he's telling me that, oh, you are a fool and rascal. This is your situation. So we hope we can say that in the past tense. We were fools and rascals, but we're working on it.
Working on it.
Hare Krishna. And by the way, you're mentioning Yudamanyu Prabhu's name, or Yudamanyu Prabhu-seva Vikram. This is how Gurudev liked, like the proper way to address those devotees who he'd given a title to, given in recognition. So Yudamanyu Prabhu-seva Vikram. By you mentioning his name, we get joy. We do. It's just happy to remember him, and it would be wonderful if he was here now and we could be sharing the same room together with the windows rattling as he snores in the night. I'd be very happy.
Oh.
And I was very happy to share a room with him, and nobody else would share a room. I said, I'll share a room with you happily. In festival time, everyone's got to share. And I did share with him happily.
Wow. Excellent
association. And when he was snoring, then I'm just very happily thinking, oh, what nice sleep he's getting. Nice rest for his savior. And really, Krishna was so kind. I was just happy to have his association. And we had wonderful conversations. And his simple, but in the best sense of the word, simple, clean-hearted recognition, and just not just recognition, knowing that Gurudev, Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, they're his fathers, they're, where we are their children, and just knowing that, and whatever they say, that's everything. It's such wonderful nature. So remembering the name of the devotees, it is very special for us. And isn't it the song Dhanamora Nityananda? Dhanamora Gaurachandra, Pranamora Nityananda. I should look it up in the songbook. I think it's that song where twice is mentioned about the devotees and about the names of the devotees. It's such a joy to chant. It's possibly them. Hare Krishna. Oh, here Praneshri found something. Is this the quote, Praneshri, did he?
Yes, Maharaj.
Loving search for the lost servant, yes. That's a very good place to start to look, isn't it? Loving search for the lost servant. This is a wonderful book. Every book is a wonderful book. This is a wonderful book. This is by Srila Guru Maharaj, and it's in the chapter Knowledge-Free Devotion. So is this what Jivana read?
Yes, but I added the shloka and the explanation of the shloka, if you want to bless us with that.
Guru Maharaj is blessing us with the shloka and the explanation. Okay, so I'm going to read, just so we're all back on track of what Srila Guru Maharaj was saying. I'm going to read the last part of what Guru Maharaj was saying. So Guru Maharaj said, Krishna says, I am the center. And I say, come to know me. And through me, you will be able to know everything, because I know everything and I control everything. Your connection with me can give you that capacity. Approach everything through me. So this is, remember, what Krishna is instructing. Then you will be able to know the proper position of all things. Otherwise, you will become acquainted with only a partial aspect of reality. And that will be external and incomplete. And that's what I wrote down with my pen and paper when you were reading just now. Otherwise, you will become acquainted with only a partial aspect of reality, and that will be external and incomplete. And you will pass millions of lives trying to know and understand reality to no end. And well done to Sureshwari for writing that in the card, she's bringing this to our attention. Then Srila Guru Maharaj is saying that Srimad Bhagavatam says, okay, better get this right. Atapi te deva param bhuja dvaya prasada leshanu grihita eva hi janati tatvan bhagavan mahimo nachanya ekopi chirang vichinvan. Quote, only one who is blessed with the mercy of the Lord can know his true nature. On the other hand, those who try empirically to understand his inconceivable glories can study and speculate forever without arriving at the proper conclusion. Now that makes me wonder whether Krishna Kanta quoted this verse or not. In a recent upper echelon of the science and philosophy world came together in Italy, and she gave a talk, but it was in Italian. And all these big brains were there. I mean, all these big brains. But also Krishna Kanta Munindra Mohan, they were there, and they stayed throughout the day because they had to, because there were other programs as well as the broadcast version. They were in questions and answers sessions, and not Ishta Goshti, but like between them having discussions. But this verse, kind of with all the brain power that was there, with all the things which were there, this one verse kind of sums it all up. Only one who is blessed with the mercy of the Lord can know his true nature. On the other hand, those who try empirically to understand his inconceivable glories can study and speculate, which is exactly what those people were doing, forever. Forever, that's a long time, by the way, without arriving at the proper conclusion. Anyway, on that note, Munindra Prabhu told that actually, because Krishna Kanta is very humble naturally, but Munindra said actually they were all impressed with the deliverance of Krishna Kanta Didi, what she gave. And she'd been considering this talk for more than a month. She's known for maybe a month or more that she's going to give this talk. And so she's been considering this, taking notes, and the thing is, it's in Italian. Sorry, I can't help you with a lot of what she said, but of course, she's giving from Guru Maharaj, from Gurudev, from Subjective Evolution of Consciousness, the book Subjective Evolution of Consciousness, where Guru Maharaj is giving like extremely clear explanations about creation, the universe, etc. And apparently, and maybe those of you, if you still do read the news and hear what the world has to say, apparently in the world, the scientific world is going through a bit of a disturbance, because now the quantum theories that have been given in the past, they found that it doesn't always work, that there's something else at play. So, those who are, in Guru Maharaj's words, trying empirically to understand his inconceivable glories can study and speculate forever. So this is what's taking place. And after solving one theory, okay, this theory, it's perfect. Then at another level of not quite perfect, there's more to go. Another level of research enters. And just see the super speed of research that's been taking place over the last 200 years. Or even 100 years. Now is 2023. I wonder how many people in 1923 were confident to take a domestic flight anywhere, what to speak of across the Atlantic or something like that. I don't even know when the first transatlantic flight started. If any of you don't know where the Atlantic is, it's between America and Europe. Anyhow, just in the last 100 years, there's been quite a leap of advancement in finding out all sorts of qualities of things. And hence we have internet, by the way. Hare Krishna. But with all of this big brain research by unlimited numbers of big brain people who have been writing theses in universities, over the last 100 years, and specializing in one particular aspect of the Lord's creation. And each scientist is specializing in some aspect. That's why you don't have valve radios anymore. Does anybody remember the valve radios? The radio, what a radio is. Anybody remembers a radio? Okay. Anyway, the valve radios, they had glass valves inside, which actually had wire, a vacuum or something inside there. And then you'd have all these valves, and the valves are sometimes burn out. You see which one burnt out. You go to the electronic shop and you buy for a few pence, a new valve, you put it in, then the radio works again. So that's why somebody specialized in, what the valve does, how can we do this in some other way? And from a valve, we got transistors. So if any of you used the transistor radio, that was great. It's an advancement. And then from the transistor radio, now we've got the microchip radios, right? Everything, if you open up any electronic device now and open it up and then take a magnifying glass, it looks practically like a city. It looks like, New York City or something. If you take a view from the sky, it's like all little parts and parcels, all contributing to the function of the radio or whatever it is. It's electronic. It's amazing what's in there. But that's by focus of attention on one aspect of Krishna's nature. And even that is the combination of so many brilliant people's work and research and understanding the qualities of some part of nature. Somebody's invented one aspect of that little city down there within the city, within the microchip and the circuit board. They call it circuit board, don't they, in electronics? Somebody's researched each part of that and then connected it together. Somebody else is specialist in this, specialist in that department. So when we use our brain, we can find out so many things, but with all of our brain power, and then helping our brain power by inventing computers. We can't see the Lord. We can't see who's behind all of these qualities that they're discovering and manipulating. But all the qualities of each of these individual elements that go to make up the little city of that circuit board inside a radio, then who gave the qualities to a silicon, to silica, yes, must be silica, to the substance silica, who gave the qualities to carbon, who gave the qualities to each of those elements that are being used there and manipulated. They're only seeing the result. So let us try to follow the path of, so how can one get the blessing and mercy of the Lord and thus know his true nature? And that's by getting the grace and the mercy of his devotees. And everywhere it's told that only through devotion are we going to draw the attention of the Lord and the Vaishnavas, not by anything else. So we are here, we're on our way, we're on the road, we're on the path ahead. Everybody here, I'm going through all of your names and seeing some of your pictures, those of you who are showing your form early in the morning or late at night. Hare Krishna, but your names are valuable. Let me see if I can just quickly find that song. Shri Krishna Chaitanya. So, Jivanariri, do you have something else you may like to say just while I see if I can find this Kirtan I was referring to?
May I ask a short question, maybe? Jivana Didi can answer.
Yes, we'd like to hear her answer. I do have that shloka, by the way.
Okay.
So when your question is done, I'll mention it is Dhana Mora Nityananda. Okay, I'll tell you now. Pati Mora Gaurachandra, Prana Mora Jugala Kishore, Advaita Acharya Bala, Gadadhara Mora Kula, Narahari Vilasai Mora. It's okay, it's only 3 verses. Then Vaishnava Pada Dhuli, Tahe Mora Snana Kelly, Tapana Mora, Vaishnavera Nama. So the dust of the, so this is Narottam Das Thakur. It's in our songbook. It's Dhana Mora Nityananda, it's the first line. The dust of the devotees' lotus feet is my bathing water. Okay, now we got to go spiritually here. And the chanting of the devotees' names is my satisfaction. And then pointing out that considering the merits of the Vedic literatures in the light of devotional service, I've concluded that the Srimad Bhagavatam is the best of all scriptures. Then, next verse, the last verse. Vaishnavera uchishta tahe mora mano nishta. Vaishnavera namete ullasa. Then Vrindavana chatura tahe mora mano ghera. Kohe dine narottamadas. So my mind is firmly convinced of the spiritual benefit obtained by eating the remnants of food left by the devotees. And the names of the devotees are my happiness. Vaishnavera namete ulasa. And then, because we read the verse, the rest of the verse, the land of Vrindavan is the enclosure within which I keep my mind. But then we don't like to read the last line, except it is an example for us. Poor-hearted Narottam Das speaks in this way, Kohe Dine Narottamadas. But in this song, this kirtan, only 3 verses, and then we've got twice about the names of the devotees. The chanting of the devotees' names is my satisfaction. Then a little later on, the names of the devotees are my happiness. Okay. Just letting you know I found the song.
Beautiful.
Now we have a question. So Priyanana Devidasi, the question is to Jivana.
Oh, we usually just say that we want to see the Vaishnava part of a devotee and to not to pay much attention to the human part, so to say. But yesterday I heard a different opinion. One of our devotees, he said, well, now I try to see devotees in whole, like you accept them wholly, the Vaishnava part and the human part, not, to neglect something. What do you think? It's even better, or is it like the same? But
Okay, I am looking forward to hearing Jivana's answer, and maybe she'll give examples, but that might be too risky. Yes, Jivanadi, over to you.
That's a good question. How we look at somebody wholesale, but I think still that even if we see something that appears negative, when we look at the whole person and we see things that appear to be false or appear to not be very good, we still don't really see it that way sometimes. And I think that sometimes we can see that and say, okay, that's a good example of how I should not be. So that way, this person is really helping me a lot. And also, sometimes if you're able to help that person because you can see something that maybe, I don't know if we can really help, but to still be very tolerant of it. And sometimes it makes us really dig deep to find how we can have some affection and tolerance. Sometimes you have to step back a little bit to get a better perspective on the situation. What do you think, Maharaj?
Well, I also feel that we do accept devotees. I mean, all the say flaws, it's part of the nature of the devotees, but we know their nature. It's not that we're blind to different natures of different devotees, but it's just we don't observe the flaws. I mean, if it's something physical, somebody can have boils on their face, for instance, but they can be a beautiful person. Means a beautiful person. We don't notice. Obviously, if you take a photo, you're looking at them, you can see they've got boils all over their face. But you're talking to somebody who has got a wonderful heart. And so you don't see anything. And I can, we're not going to give examples, but I can think of 1 or 2 examples. And one example is somebody who, wouldn't make it in the modeling world, but is truly a beautiful person from their service attitude and everything else. So this is like on the physical side, when you can see something. But something like that is on the other side, where, we see that a devotee has this nature or that nature, but they're a beautiful person, they're a beautiful devotee. They got a devoted heart, and they've got something more than we have in some aspects. In fact, we should look to see everybody's got more than we have and see the genuine side. So it is this guidance of not noticing the fault and only seeing the good part. It's for our protection and for our help. But really, we'll naturally try to see everything as a whole. Mahaprabhu with Sanatana Goswami, he had sores all over his body. And Sanatana Goswami felt terrible because Mahaprabhu is touching him. And then he's trying to withdraw and he's feeling very bad. But Mahaprabhu accepted him as he is. Again, I know this is like an external thing. But the faults of devotees are also external things. They're not part of their jiva soul. They're not part of themselves underneath. So we do see everything. It's not a, like a law that, okay, somebody that like this is, you only see the good part. We see devotees as a whole, but it is the law that we won't dwell on the negative parts. And I mean, if the devotees in this world are honest, we've got to put up our hand and say we have negative parts. So if we know we have negative parts, then others can also know it. But we're not dwelling on it. We're trying to get over those things in ourselves and similarly with others. That's not their nature, it's their part. It's their part that they're getting over. And as Guru Maharaj also said, how dirt emanating from something being cleaned is different than dirt emanating from something which is inherently filthy.
Mm.
So, I mean, there are different ways to see it, and we must accept devotees as a whole. But still, we'll focus. For instance, that very raw example. If someone's got boils on the face, we're reciprocating with the person part, and we're not, pointing out to everybody, oh, look, all this ugliness of that devotee. Rather, we'll say, oh, what a beautiful devotee. So just a thought, Jeevana.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems like I heard somewhere that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, I mean, that question is just amazing, Priyananda. We could talk about this for weeks because there's just so much involved with that. But he would say something like, don't worry about any flaws or problems that you see with others. And Gurudev would say this too. He would say, my religion is finding my own faults. But also one good way that Bhaktisiddhanta said too is he said, don't worry about the flaws or the problems that you see in others, because he said that's Krishna's job. That's Gurudev's job and Krishna's job. It's not our job. So we try to adjust ourselves so that we can harmonize and be with all the devotees and not cause offenses. Like I said, sometimes maybe Maharaj, I don't know if you agree with this, but sometimes you have to kind of back off a little bit, just back away a little bit without hurting their feelings or without, being rude about it, just so you can get a little bit better perspective, but to really know that the flaws are really within. There's something in Mahabharata or someplace where if you see the good qualities for others, those good qualities can come to you. But the same thing can happen if you see the flaws of others. And Guru Maharaj would call it spitting in the wind. If you spit in the wind, it just flies right back in your face. So those are good things to remember. I mean, we're on a spiritual path. Nobody said this was going to be easy. So, so that was really an amazing point, Priyananda, as usual.
Oh, that's not my point. We were just discussing with the friends here. And actually, yes, thanks a lot. And I like this example with Shiva and Sanatan Goswami also, because we were discussing more, about like if you have friends in Krishna consciousness, and when you become close friends, you see their so-called human part, like you see them in different situations. And of course, you want to harmonize. It's not even, like some devotees who irritate you, but when it comes to like closer relations, when you really want to like be with this person, keep good friendship and like how to deal. But yeah, it's like, what's that? Loving eye conceals the flaws or something. Like maybe also like Mahaprabhu said, like, Sanatan, you're like, all that comes from your body is like sandal pulp for me. So it's maybe something like this as well. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, that's very beautiful, very deep.
And any of us and all of us can only discuss about these things by the grace of Srila Gurudev, the grace of Srila Guru Maharaj, the grace of Srila Prabhupada. And if you go in any unlimited numbers of societies and clubs and things to do with other people in the world, but this kind of conversation, this kind of discussion won't be there. Or if it is, it's going to be without any foundation, without just like whimsical, superficial discussion. But we are so fortunate that really we've come under the glance of the Lord, that he's giving us this opportunity to be able to happily hear, discuss, and reflect on the teachings of the pure devotees, and pure devotees headed by Krishna himself, in Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, many places, but Krishna himself as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is coming to show, as we've given just now, some example of this kind of topic with Sanatana Goswami, but the whole of our spiritual life. Then Gauranga Mahaprabhu has come to generously give that to us all. So we are fortunate to have such kind of association.
Maharaj, can I ask like small additional question?
If it has a small answer, yes, because we're over time. Yes.
Yes. I just want maybe to go a little bit personal and to ask like you and Jivana Didi and maybe somebody else, like when you really have like close friends in Krishna consciousness, which it's not an option for you, like not to communicate, and it's the opposite. You want to deepen this connection, but like what's your inner vision, your attitude when you see like some flaws, but they don't irritate you, or like what's that, you just laugh at them, or like what's your inner response to it, your feeling, maybe if you think about a particular person, like what's that, no need to mention names, but what's your attitude, inner heart, so to say?
Well,
Compassion.
it sounds like your inner heart wants to mention a name. How do I deal with this person? But don't mention anyone's name. I mean, we're not going into that plane of being irritated, are we? That's not our path. And if we catch ourselves being irritated, we have to look at ourselves, not at the other person. Why should I be irritated by something? So again, yes, self-analysis in that sense, but not too much self-analysis. We just want to do the right thing and not really analyze too much about why we're doing it. And when we've had the association of one very dear friend called Srila Bhaktisundara Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj, which I really hope and we feel that we are in the friend zone as well as in, of course, the guru-disciple zone. But he was such a friend to the devotees. Then we've got our example to live by. And, we're not getting too analytical about friends, this, that, and the other. All the Vaishnavas are our friends, but seeing the fault, no, we just accept. We have to accept so many things. Gurudev accepted so many things.
So it kind of comes naturally, right? When you have like close relations, you don't have to like push yourself to accept something. You just think, oh, okay, some minor something, but not really disturbing. I mean, it's not disturbing. You just try to, accommodate.
Well, you're thinking more than I think. That's what I can say. Jivana, over to Jivana.
No, it's perfect what she's saying and what you said to Maharaj. Sometimes if, in the course of it, maybe you're retired or whatever, and something was a little bit irritating, got to catch yourself right away. What am I thinking? What is, the self-analysis has to kick in and then just move on. And because, this person's a really dear friend and, that they're devoted to Krishna, and you just just want to keep that there. So sometimes you do have to kind of just catch yourself, because this world is just always testing us. There's always tests coming our way. And if there's no test, there's no progress. So you can take these things as tests that I have to make some progress here. This is where I'm going to make progress. I'm so excited that this is happening, because I can make some really good, I can really work on myself and just let this go and just become more of a devotee this way.
Right. All right. So let us all work on ourselves
Thank you.
and not think too much, perhaps.
I've heard it so many times. I cannot help it.
And don't neglect the japa, please. Don't neglect our principal activities of devotional service. Not, as Guru Maharaj would say, not to leave the japa crying, hanging on a hook, crying out of neglect. This is Guru Maharaj's personal view. So let us also, with all of our thinking and everything, let us do our thinking, very good, but do our thinking with our processes. And as we follow the process, then we have faith that Guru Vaishnava will be kind, and we will be able to see things in the natural proper light, including Krishna, and especially Krishna and his devotees. Okay, dear devotees with us on Facebook, with us on Zoom, who are with us in the recorded version, and very happily seeing the names of you all, and happily here to serve. If we can be of service, let us know. Jai wonderful Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai wonderful Srila Bhakti Rock of Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai wonderful Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. And my wonderful grand lion guru Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai. Jai Srila Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Srila Satchitananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai. And our whole Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Vaga ki Jai. All the Vaishnavas ki Jai everywhere. All the assembled Vaishnavas ki Jai. Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai. All the present day Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Vrinda ki Jai. And Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari
Hari Bo.
Bancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. And Jai Jivana Devidasi ki Jai, and all the sincere devotees here present. Gaur Hari Hari Prema Sindhu Prabhu ki Jai. All our senior devotee section, Paneshwari Devidasi, of course, ki Jai. To each of you, one by one, Jais.
Jai Niranjan Madhusudan Maharaj. Jai.
Okay, Leela Prabhu, Seva Rupa Devidasi, Jai Goran, Vrindavaneshwari, Narayani Radhya, Annapurna Devidasi. Yes, from the southwest of Russia. I saw your town. And Induleka, Lin, famous Indra Prabhu, Jayadev Prabhu, Dana, Leela, Dana K, Leela Shakti Devi, Chintamani with a red bus behind, London bus behind her. How about that?
Wow.
In Italy. And Radha Sundari Devidasi there in India. And Gangalila Devidasi there in USA. Priyanana Devidasi there in St. Petersburg or somewhere near. All right, to all of you, my appreciation, my obeisances.
A special dandavas from Krishna Priya from Sokel.
Oh,
And Mathura Vasini, although you also mentioned Prema Sindhu, and Gourangi in Ecuador.
Oh, okay, wonderful. So I'm happy to hear those. I don't see them for some reason on my Facebook, but happily. And Krishna Priya, we are thinking of you. We mentioning you with Chinmoy Deshu yesterday, and both of us chanting your glories. So just so You're in the ether. You're not with us or not with us visible every time on the back to basics, but you've come this time, and it's a sign.
For a reason.
For whatever reason. I don't know the reason. You'll have to think about that too. All right. And look, right behind Praneshwari is Gauranga Setu. It's still standing, my goodness. We saw it being built. This is crossing the river Ganges, crossing from Kolladeep to Madhyadeep, if you want to know where the islands are. And of course, before you could only go by boat. And when we are first in the mat, you can only go by boat. We saw that bridge being built, and it's still standing. That's all I have to say on the matter. Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol, Govinda Govinda Govinda, Ami Ashchi.
Thank you so very much, Maharaj.
Thank you all. Jai Jai.
Jai Hare Krishna. Always nourishing. We go with our hearts just like expanded. It's so much nourishment that we get from Maharaj. So much. So special. Dandavats, everyone. Hare Krishna. Dandavats.